Good afternoon. In real time, good morning, good afternoon, good evening in your time, because you could be looking at this recording at any time you choose. But for those of you who are live, we greet you with the news here on our roundtable program that West Indies have defeated India in a 5 T20 series, 3-2, winning the series, I guess, for the first time in a long time. West Indies won 2 of the first games, lost 2, and won the 5th game out of 2 played in Lauderhill, Florida, USA, after India had given them a trunching yesterday, the day before. So congratulations to West Indies for winning a very important series. We hope that this trend continues for the foreseeable future. So you hear it here first on TUD. By the way, we have a major plan for cricket as a team, as a movement, as a government in waiting, which we will eventually share. But today, we're going to deal with an issue that has been ventilated, but we want to have a take. We want to have something to say about it, which is very troubling discussion about the sale of the Botanic Gardens, the possible sale, or the assumptions that there might have been a sale, or the idea, even just a mere discussion about the ownership of the Botanic Gardens. It is just destabilizing. And as a team, we do not like to follow issues, but on this one, we have to jump in and take a position and make some statements. Ordinarily, we are proactive, we present. But on that occasion, especially since we saw information that suggests that what had been circulated is true, it is just that the government didn't take action to follow suit. That's a problem. So Team Unity Dominica today on our roundtable program will deal with that Botanic Garden sale fiasco issue problem. And I am happy to present on behalf of our entire team as our leader, Carlos Charles, sort of lead the discussion. I think he's going to begin today by reading a press release which was written and presented on behalf of our team. And after that, we will have a discussion about the Botanic Gardens and the pros and cons, different sides, and our understanding of the different sides of the debate. So ladies and gentlemen, here is Carlos Charles. He is the team leader of Team Unity Dominica. He will first of all present his press release, and then we'll have a discussion. Carlos, good afternoon and welcome.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Alex. Good afternoon to our Team Unity Dominica people and Dominicans overall. Those who don't support us but will support us eventually, because Team Unity is largely a progressive idea, and Dominica is asking for a more progressive engagement in terms of the politics and the direction of the country overall. Yes, I want to start the program by reading our press release, which we released yesterday morning. Well, officially went out yesterday morning, but it was written on Friday. In terms of the Botanic Gardens, the only green space which is in Rosal, the capital city, and Dominica is unique in that there are not many islands. Are there any other islands with a botanic gardens with so many green trees planted right next to the capital, Alex? In my travels, you're muted. You're muted. You are muted. You are muted, Alex.
Yeah. So there are many countries with green space, especially in Europe, but not a botanic
In the
garden like
Caribbean,
in the Caribbean. No, no. I mean Guyana and other. St. Lucia has a little green space, a little dot of a green space, but no, in terms of having a
a little
green,
thing.
yeah, a green space like we have in the Caribbean. No, there's no other country that I've been to that I have seen this, and I've been to almost every Caribbean country. But no, we are unique in that sense in terms of the botanic gardens.
Okay. Well,
There are botanic gardens in other places, but not right on the outskirts of the city, in other internal areas.
right. All right. So, in terms of our press release, it reads as follows, and it was released on the 11th of August. That is Friday, 2023. Team Unity Dominica (TUD) is concerned of the mere thought of the sale of Dominica's Botanic Gardens and the recent burst of discussion which surrounds the issue. This is worrying on all fronts, and the fact that there even exists a plan for ownership of the gardens is disturbing, and we applaud all reasonable thinking members of the public who have rightfully raised their voices in protest. TUD advises citizens to remain vigilant, and we echo our call for a united front in tackling the stalemate in Dominica's political leadership on all fronts. We also urge the leaders of government to tune in to the voice of the people. Our team has envisaged and drawn out a plan for the sustained development of the Botanic Gardens, and we will share this, of course, at the appropriate time. In the meantime, we employ our Dominican brothers and sisters to own and defend this lovely green space on the boundaries of the city of Roseau. And this ends our press release. Professor Bruno, that short and sweet is our presentation on the board. We have much more we could say on the Botanic Gardens issue, but we had to add our voices to the ongoing discussion on the possibility that it may have been sold, allocated to somebody else, or whatever it is.
Well, I'm happy that Mr. Leader, you found the need to make a statement, and I think another party made a statement as well. Well, not the party, the governing majority, because I am one of those who don't think that there is any one party controlling the power of Dominica now. There is a mix-up of people from different parties, interest, under a
Mm-hmm.
heading called Dominica Labour Party, but that is not, in my understanding, Dominica Labour Party. Dominica Labour Party is a very wonderful institution that is not essentially in power. It is people who are camouflaging as the Labour Party that's in power. And we will continue to make that case moving forward. So I think outside of our statement, I saw the government side had a statement. I'm not too sure whether you saw any other press statement made formally like that, Carlos, by another party. Have you?
No, no. I saw persons talking online, sharing on statements on Facebook, WhatsApp statuses, and so on and so forth, but nothing official from any organization.
Official and responsible. Because one of the, and you know that, one of the ABCs of politics is that whenever there's an issue, you present a professional and official dossier reaction statement. You can speak about it after, but there must be something that backs it up formally. So what people go to when they are researching politics and stuff like that in a country, Carlos, speeches. So you would have given at least 5 speeches, I think, by now, maybe more than that. So all your speeches are what people will go to,
Yes.
what the leader said in speeches, what the leader of the opposition no said in her speech, what the leader of the opposition past would have said, formal speeches. Because when you do research, it has to be, there must be a method behind the research. Yes, you can look at other things said, but you look for gazetted official stuff that have been presented in a standard way. So I'm looking at press releases, and your press release will be picked up among other press releases on the matter of the Botanic Gardens. You understand, Carlos?
But that's already been picked up by the media, and I just want to give credit to those who have published the story. I saw it on Nature Isle News, and I think it was on DNO as well. I'm not too sure, but for sure I saw it on Nature Isle News. So
Good. So that's
credit to
so
the
that's
media groups.
that's good. No, you
Wow.
don't always have to have a press release because you don't have to respond to everything. But the things like that that you need to respond to, you should respond that way. So when people are going back at those stuff, they'll pull all the releases because it's just too much talk to go through. Like the talk shows, they might listen to it as well. But boy, those are not systematic programs. It's program where everybody say anything. So in terms of looking at the politics, that's not the best model, the best measure to understand what people are doing in politics. So what you have done in this release is to put a stake out for your party at a timely manner that marks your concern or your team's concern. And the first line of the statement is Team Unity Dominica TD is concerned about the mere thoughts of the sale of Dominica Botanic Gardens. The thought, Carlos, why are you so moved by just the thought of the sale, even if it is not true? Why is that so
Alex,
problematic for you?
Alex, that is, to me, in my mind, that is so bizarre. That is so bizarre that if that is in the thought of someone in current leadership, in my mind, that is political suicide. I remember growing up as a little boy and Lambi bringing me to the gardens to go and play with my brother, my mom. You know, as a family, um, and it was seeing other people, other families taking their kids there to go out and have a little, outside time. And let's not even talk about the many memories that a lot of us have with the bamboo house.
Tell me yours, Carlos.
No. Yeah, I keep that in archives. Keep that in archives
And,
as
and,
well.
and what is the Bamboo House? Can you please, for people who do not know, people who are listening, this is an international program.
But
The best way to explain it.
the bamboo house can be best described as an area where a lot of bamboos grew, and they have them in the shape of in a circle format, and there's little areas that kind of tight that people can go inside, and another area where you can come outside. Leave it like that. All
Okay.
right, inside,
So it's a,
outside.
it's a natural kind of creation of
A
trees,
natural
bamboo,
house.
right?
Yes.
Where bamboo is the shelter, bamboo is the walling, the surrounding walls, and the
Bamboo in
carpeting,
the windows.
bamboo, the windows, and the bedding. Do we have bedding in the house?
No bedding.
Or is it just
No
concrete,
bedding.
just
Not
turf,
pure
just
dirt, dirt.
or you okay? Oh, you have been in there, you said, okay? Okay, I'm getting the point, Carlos. So there are memories left behind from the bamboo house, among other memories, right?
The parrots. We have the school bus from Hurricane David that's still trapped under the tree next to the agricultural building.
Ah, yes. And you mean the new owners would have to move that bus, boy, maybe?
There-
Because,
so are you saying, Alex, that there are new owners?
well,
This
no,
is
no. I
okay.
never will say that because there is something that says in politics that there is a line that you should not cross. And no matter how brazen any government is in Dominica, trying to exchange the Botanic Gardens for into private hands for whatever reason, golf, whatever, that is the line that should not be crossed in Dominica's politics. Because Carlos, me, Alex Bruno, will be sold with that land as well, with the Botanic Gardens. I personally stating that for the record. Whoever wants to acquire gardens is acquiring me. And that is a problem when you acquire me. Because you will not see it easy. I'll be like a zombie. Because I would find myself in the gardens, I'll trap myself on the tree, I'll get a big chain and just bring food for me. That garden will not be sold without me being sold as part of it. So that is one area that no party in Dominica should want to venture.
No, that's just a given. I mean, we should even be discussing that.
That is
That
the
should not
point.
be. That should not even be a discussion.
That's why the first line of the release says the thought of it. Who should even think about that? And if there is a recommendation made or a proposal presented to you to exchange the gardens, you should just tear it up and tell Dominicans, how could you do that? So if there is something that has been lodged there, that's a problem too, Carlos.
Yes.
And based on the press release I saw from the
That
honorable,
confirms that there was a plan to do something.
Because nobody signed. You see, Carlos, politics are very, well, you have to be very smart in politics, Who signed that press release that said that the plan was there, but no action was taken? Who signed
Nobody.
it? Good.
Nobody. But it was on the heading of the office of the Prime Minister.
Oh, well, so the Prime Minister owns it then. So the Prime Minister owns it. But although he can say, well, it was used by the Taylors, but I didn't sign it. Because anybody could write from the office. That's what he could say.
Yes, but Alex, yesterday evening, the Prime Minister was on one of the radio stations defending his position on the Botanic Gardens, and one of the things he was saying is that the plan is to develop the Botanic Gardens and have it into a more recreational space, which I don't mind in certain respects, but we have to be cautious of the development of the gardens. We have to think of our history and whatever we decide to do with the gardens has to keep a lot of the aesthetics of what we have already in place, and add to it as opposed to removing, because he's talking about things like a movie theater. I'm
The
like,
Prime
really?
Minister, he spoke at a movie theater.
I'm telling you,
What?
movie theater.
Well, that's worse than saying
I
it.
hope I'm mistaken in what he was saying,
That is worse
because
than selling the garden.
among the things that he mentioned that we have a space movie theater in Dominica, but it is a makeshift place. Now, now when I heard that, now I know the gentlemen who are involved in the movie theater
In
in
the movie
Roseville.
place, yeah, that's a lovely space. That sits about
Right.
150 people.
Alex, are you aware that the movie theater in Roseville is involved the use of technology such as Dolby, the Dolby you see on the CDs, Dolby technology. You see it on the movies. The effects when they do the video editing, that they do in the sound effects, you get that at that cinema because they develop that place with all that in mind. So to come out and disrespect a young business place, and to me, in my mind, is an attack on the private sector,
But that attack has
because
been
you want
done.
to do
Well,
because you want to do your own thing. You want to do your own thing, You want to have a government develop better place. Bro, this is not what a government should be doing. A government should be okay, say for example you don't like certain aspects in what a private sector business is doing, you call them in. Say for example, let me just use an example. Bread. You don't like a certain bread, or you don't like something happens with that bread, whoever is responsible for that department, say Ministry of Health or small business, whatever, you call the businesses in and let's have a discussion on how can I help you to make that business better? Because I see you doing this, that's a good idea. However, look at how you can do this to improve your product because we want you to be able to offer that not just to our people but to people who are outside who see better and to all people who go outside and see better things, and we want good things for us in Dominica.
Why? One of the, but I don't understand why the Prime Minister would say that our movie theater in the gardens, but he's not well, man. Why would he even be thinking about it? So it's really sold then? Because if that is the case, if that's the conversation, something is wrong with that picture. The Botanic Gardens
Now,
and theater,
no-
movie theater,
now I
no,
am aware of
no, 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 no.
there being multiple plans for the development of the Botanic Gardens. Right? Now, this plan that was leaked, that's one plan.
Yeah.
There's another plan, or maybe more than one, that exists within the government system,
Mhm.
which would more be aligned with some of the plans that we already have in mind. So I'm calling on the government. Let us sit around the table. Let all ideas contend because ideas do not reside in one head.
No.
Let us discuss. Let us all talk. You
Why?
never know. Somebody,
Carlos,
somebody who has guided us in the past could have had ideas which we can take on board and implement.
if we have to go based on experiences with that government and the head of government, we're in trouble. Because you see the reform we're talking about, were people brought on board to decide? No, he pretty much decided. That's what I want. And that's what's going to be, no Carlos. So I
And
am afraid. I am
and
afraid. Mhm.
hmm, go ahead, go
I
ahead.
am I
Yes.
am terribly frightened that that gardens thing might end up similarly. Because when you start putting concrete in garden, because it will never be a green theater, it will always be some concrete structure, steel, and all kind of thing that's going to go on in the gardens there. And
Come
somebody would have
on.
to own the building and stuff like. Why no, guys? No, he didn't say that on radio, Carlos.
I, I was listening to the program last night, and I do hope that our guests would have joined us by now, so we could have had this discussion going. But yes, he did go into that discussion,
No, he made a mistake.
having a small a small bowling alley as
Bowling alley,
indoor. Yes,
bowling as in
indoor in
bowling, the
indoor golf with glowing balls, so you can see the ball in the
glowing
night.
balls. Carlos, Carlos, watch me. Honestly, upon the business in a sweat. I have a problem. You should prepare me for that. Glowing, what kind
I,
of balls are going to go? Glowing balls, golf, mini indoor golf, bowling.
yeah.
No man, no man. The prime minister needs no way. I don't want to say anything.
No, I don't have an issue with golf.
No, we can have
We
it,
all look
but
at
not in the gardens.
yes, not in the gardens.
We can have all of that. That's nice.
There's
He's
so
talking
many,
about there. He can build land on. He put it on his land, or he can put a little ocean, a little piece of land on the sea or something, or anywhere you can get land. Do it. Picard somewhere. Gardens. You're mad, man. Boy, Carlos, boy, let me tell you something. No, something wrong. The Prime Minister really did say those things, Carlos.
He did say those things. He did say those things.
That is this person. That is worse than selling the garden. Or it just confirms the sale.
That
To
it
me, that's
does.
how I see it.
That yes.
To me, that's how I see it. Sorry, if anybody don't take me to task, I have been taken to task already. Take me to task again. That is just ludicrous. And if the Prime Minister did say that, and I believe you, Carlos, he must immediately probably start to rethink. Or some of us should maybe try to get through to him. Probably he's not thinking straight. I mean, he's trying to to develop a different kind of a aesthetic, cultural aesthetic on the Botanic Gardens. Is that the best he could come with? He under pressure, man. No, guys, something is wrong. I do not know if people are afraid to call things out, but me, at my age and my stage in life, how could I be afraid to say things now? That is crazy what the Prime Minister is talking about. How could he talk about gardens and glowing balls? What balls are glowing? Glow there now? Mini golf. Man, put
Yeah, I
that in
mean,
your bed. Huh?
mini golf course.
Um,
I was amazed when I heard that.
I would be happy to go to one of his mansions to be entertained and to use the facility there if he wants to do it there. That's what he should do. He have a rooftop, he have a backyard, do that there. But the gardens, Iolibla Gardens, with all the history that comes with it, bowling alley, mini golf with glowing balls. Carlos, you upset me. That's the issue. Because if the garden is not sold, it is sold. Because those plans I'm hearing there suggest it confirms what people are angry about. And I'm angry for the first time. I'm really, really upset about that. I'm upset, Carlos. I do not get more upset than I am now. I'm very upset. You better get me off that program, stop that program, and let me leave, man. Because I'm perfectly upset.
Bro,
What is it? What is that now?
this is the direction that our country is going. Is it's getting further and further out of hand, and I need not, it need not cast blame, more than to ask Dominicans to get ready. We need a more progressive engagement. We need to get the country on the right track, because we will lose our country if we, well, probably we have already lost it.
No, we
Probably.
haven't. But it is dangerous sign. If you are telling me, Carlos, I'm very rational. I'm thinking if I clear it now. If you, Carlos, are telling me, because I didn't listen to the radio, I didn't listen to the Honorable Prime Minister. If you are telling me that in response to all the talk, the Prime Minister was on radio yesterday, Saturday, saying that the gardens have not been sold, which we do not know to believe that. But he's coming back and say that there are plans to develop, and he's talking about glowing balls for a mini golf course, movie. Really? Our
I
something
don't,
is wrong.
I don't know I don't know which part will be the green space. Maybe the cemetery.
Something is wrong. A cemetery there too?
No, remember the cemetery is on the outskirts of the gardens, you know.
Oh, but he can't bring it, he can't
So,
encroach more in the gardens. The cemetery has to stay where it is there.
what I'm saying is, with all those plans, where will the green space be? It
Oh,
must be the cemetery.
I get you. No, the prime minister had better walk away from that thing. If he thinks that this bit of real estate called the Botanic Gardens is something that he can play with, that's the last bit of real estate he should think of playing with in Dominica. I'm telling you. I think his own people will come down on him. The only thing is that we do not want him to go and rush dropping concrete as they had done in Wesley. clear thing and start putting concrete. There should be no immediate aggressive plan for putting concrete at the Botanic. If you want, you can do it, but in the basement, just support certain things. But concrete structure or any other too artificial sort of building to take away from the historical aesthetics of the Botanic Gardens. UE is fantastic as an older building. Look at the Convent High School and the cemetery on the other side, the Parrot Observatory, Jack's Walk. These should be complemented by something, by a bowling alley. That's not the game you have in a bowling schooner and you walk in if your pants in that
Yes,
holding the thing in your free fingers.
yes, yes.
And golf,
And
mini golf with glowing balls,
see,
mini
I'm,
golf.
I'm wondering about the thought process of some of our leaders when I think of the current state of, for example, the Jacks Walk. Persons use this area to exercise every afternoon. I know persons who civil servants, private sector workers, they go there on a quarter past 4:30, do their exercise for the day, and before they get home. And somebody commented to me that the Jacks Walk, the little track to go up to the cross, the condition of it, even the steps, the steps full of dirt and so on. Probably we as a party that a positive move we can make is to try and make our contribution and do some remedial works to those areas. That is, clean the steps, so when people are doing their exercise, they can that is a more positive engagement that we can do. Um,
But
but
that is just depressing. That is just simply depressing, man. That is simply
yeah,
depressing.
but
That is depressing, man. That is just. Alwyn Bully, may he rest, my dear friend, comrade, mentor, has a plan that I heard his wife articulate. A vision that the brother has, because Alwyn is not dead to me, for the Botanic Gardens, my brother. And his wife was on radio speaking about that plan in the hearing of a minister who was there. For the Prime Minister to come today and talk about bowling alley with glowing balls. Carlos, theater, something wrong, my brother.
Good afternoon, gentlemen. How are you guys doing?
Well, Richie, boy, I've had better days, man.
good
Boy,
afternoon, Richie.
I was I was listening to your thing there, Alex, and I'm like, when he was saying what he said that day yesterday, I'm like, shouldn't that be something for the private sector? Shouldn't that be something that the private sector is endeavoring? I commented and said that on his live yesterday as well on Kyrie FM, because why are you as a government investing in a theater, in a playground for kids and stuff, like a golf course, like miniature golf course? Those are things the private sector involved in, not the government. So so I was doing some research on economy, and I found out that there are different types of economies. Alex, I'm sure you're aware of that. And I believe Dominica is moving to a socialist economy.
Yeah, but not even socialist because he is not a socialist. If he was a socialist, he would have at least behaved differently. He has socialist acumen, but it is driven by other tendencies, other things. So he's not a pure socialist.
Okay,
That is not what socialists. Yeah, they try to control the system and control the market and control the economy, but he wants to control your life. So he's an authoritarian wannabe, and he used socialism as a tool for his ambition. Because remember,
okay,
people who know him talk about he wants wanting to protect his power legacy. So I think that's what drives his acumen politically and socialism, which because I know based on my research of him, He likes Fidel and people who are more of the socialist inclination. But he's not a socialist.
Okay.
He does not behave like one. And that is the
Hmm.
problem because he has no clear cut ideology. So he will do what is necessary for his ideals, for his ambitions to be fulfilled.
Hmm.
So it's worse than even what socialism can end up being. And socialism always ended up bad because when government control the money, they control everything. The people become dictators, as in most socialist countries, China, Syria, Korea, Venezuela, Cuba et al. So we are going
Hmm.
to have a problem in our hands. And he's not a pure socialist. So it's confused. It's he has it's a problem, my brother. It's a problem. If what you guys are saying is true, and I trust you guys, for him to be speaking the way he's speaking about that virgin cultural space that we have right in the city, he's talking about a mini golf course with glowing balls and theater that the
Yeah.
government is going to do. No. So my view, and I'm really upset about that, is that the issue or the idea of the sale of the gardens is as true as it gets. Because there's no way he could come back with those initiatives if there's not a plan for somebody to do something to the gardens.
To do something
And
there.
that is the problem.
And, and let me say that too. Let me echo that as well. The reason I say the gardens has been sold is because look at Cabritz. Cabritz was a national park, and it has been sold to develop the Moroccan Hotel. So there could be developments in the wing for the botanical
Yeah. The
that
only
we
thing,
have on the
yeah,
country.
yeah. This is a problem. This is a vexing problem. And some people, that's a problem, man. I don't care what people think about me. I'm voicing it as I see it, man. Because this man has the ability to establish this thing, with that super majority he has and views I'm hearing being expressed about the independence. That man has the super majority to do anything he wants to do in Dominica right now. And he has time.
Yeah.
He has another 3 years that he can do whatever he wants to do until we dethrone him. Because I think Ricardo and Carlos, what Dominican is right now is not a restart now. Not restart is a joke. I won't say because that has been held back for an appropriate time. But we need to purge ourselves from both sides. Both sides. We
Yes.
need a
I
new
agree with you.
entry, a new entry, my brother. And I will push for that to be the case. I have never been in politics, so I'm new. You have not been, you are new. Carlos is new. Anybody else who wants to get involved, new, you need a new approach altogether, divorced from what has been happening on both sides of the political side. In fact,
Um.
it's one side we have now, because the other side
Yes.
took themselves out already.
Yes.
The other side voluntarily resigned. They take themselves out of politics, out of power, and they where they are. So only one side really we have to contend with is the side that's in office right now.
Yes, sir.
So I
That
honestly
that.
think, go ahead.
I know I was about to just echo and say that's the truth. It's one side.
There's one side we have. One side felt it was in their best interest to stay away and just give one man more power than he ever had. And you're trying to fight something inside from the outside when you were in the inside. What kind of logic is that? You live in
Ah,
the inside where you can at least fight. You come in on the outside and fighting when you could have stayed there and fight.
and then fight amongst
But yeah,
yourselves as well.
you have to remember too, Alex, it was always an outside tendency, you're inside and you're fighting to be outside, even though I mean you're in opposition. Opposition in Dominica right now means you get a lot of victimization, you get a lot of pressure. But guess what? You're there to represent the people, and the former opposition people have shown the tendency to always wanting to be outside as a response to
The pressure.
negativity.
Yeah.
Yes.
Man, when you're under
So the
pressure, you have
fact
to
that
fight. Mhm.
the fact that they're outside now is not a surprise to me. So it go figure.
But Ricardo, but how does one? I never understand that logic. How are you in power? You have leverage, at least no matter how small, say thank God. And you live in that and going somewhere where you don't have leverage to try to get leverage now. Carlos, how it making? Tell me, no man, if I'm wrong, no man.
No,
Carlos,
no, no. You you're not wrong. You're not wrong in your thinking.
but there are some people that dissing me, telling me we running was a wrong thing and what one said do was right. No, I'm not against what people do. I'm just trying to understand it
You
and
see,
still say it's possible.
I had a conversation with a young man this morning at one of the supermarkets, and and he was one of he was a big opposition to us running.
Mhm.
And this morning he told me, "I see what you were talking about weeks ago. I see what you were talking about weeks ago. Before a month ago when you all started this new party, because I see the problems that exist now, and I realize it has to be something new for anything to happen.
What do you mean, bro?
So yes, we have to continue along the path that we are heading, and I would just want to again call on the members of the ruling party to forget about that idea of destroying the green space. The little green space that we have in Roseau or Botanic Gardens, leave that alone. Do not touch that. Do not send any Chinese. Do not send any Canadian. Do not send anybody to go and interfere with our botanic gardens. There are enough people in the Ministry of Agriculture who can develop it further. And if we need any ideas, if we need any discussions, there are many people, ideas don't reside in one head. Let us come together, okay, and decide on a clear way forward if we fed up of things looking one way. Ricardo, you were saying something?
If in case they move forward with their plans, what is there any legal action we can take, or is there any action we are willing to take in order to stop this? To stop this.
Yeah, well, it's very difficult to stop a government from doing what the government wants to do, especially one that is so powerful. But we cannot wait. We cannot be reacting to anything. Right now, there should be a plan advanced to reach the people on that issue and that issue alone, and not just everything around it. Focus it on the significance of the space when it comes to the green space and our culture. Two prongs of the argument and sell that to the people. And that's what we will attempt to do. That is what I would 100% support. And we take that, let the Dominicans understand what a visionless government is threatening to do. And if they do it, if they dare to go beyond that, well, you can talk about legal action. But I would be willing to go beyond just legal action. So legal action would be one of the options. But when you would have mobilized the nation, it would be easy to get them going. And if you have 1,000, 2,000 people at the gardens, After a series of meetings with people around Dominica, you will get more than that. I heard there's a call for a garden gathering today. I wish that call well. If that call gets plenty people, that is good. If it does not get, it probably
So
suggests that things could be done maybe differently. So I think, Ricardo, the idea is to take two issues, that issue in two prongs. The green space, what it means, our historical heritage, invoke Libla and all of those who have put all the hard work in this, our technocrats, and take the message to the people. Show them what a visionless government is trying to do to the Botanic Gardens. And you see that thing about the glowing balls? That is just the most vexing thing in my mind. We need to
Ricardo,
put that to bed.
Alex thought it was a joke I was making when I said that's what he said. When I
Yeah.
did you hear when he mentioned about the the golf, the miniature golf course?
Huh?
Did you hear when he mentioned about the miniature golf course?
Yes, I heard that. I heard that. I heard
with,
that.
with
With glowing
glowing
lights,
balls.
with glowing balls for the night. Yeah. And that's when I commented on the thing and said that should be something for the private sector, not the government. The government should not be involved in such activity.
Okay,
And that's when
Ricardo, go ahead, go ahead.
I came up with the idea like we falling on a socialistic kind of government because we are no longer having the government empower the private people to do things to which they can generate income. You saying that the students can go and study and come back and manage a business that the government instituted. Who doesn't want to own their own thing?
But Ricardo, here is I'm gonna tell you that. You from Wesley? Me are Wesley
Yeah.
Legacy. You see they talk about the development of an airport in Wesley. I do not know where that is going. I hope it goes. Our idea as a team is to create in the same area, or maybe I guess in the adjacent area now, because I do not know what's happening in the airport. But our broader plan was to develop a golf course called the St. Andrews Golf Course
Hmm.
to play 18 holes of golf, not a mini thing. You can have a miniature one for children
For children, yeah.
when the major one is playing. But our view was to develop a huge golf course on that same northeast coast in the St. Andrews parish called the St. Andrews Golf Course. No, there is a St. Andrews Golf Course somewhere in the world. Know where it is and see what it looks like. If you have a St. Andrews Golf Course in Dominica and one in England, they both are brothers and sisters. You can attract people like Tiger Woods just from America across there and other golfers to come to our golf course in Nature Island. That's our idea. So when you see where the airport is and all that talk about the airport, our overall idea would have been to use that space to develop a powerful international style golf course. And there, if you want, you can put miniature golf and bowling and stuff like that. There. But we have to decentralize from Roseau. You want to cramp into Roseau.
Decentralized.
You're talking about
Voila,
a mini
correct.
golf course and thing in Roseau, man. I guess I vex there in the way, Carlos. I mean, if you're tired and you don't have vision, let somebody else run the country. I mean, that's a joke now, man.
I'm saying, but wait, here, Prime Minister, you want to build a cinema. We have a cinema in Roseau. There was one in Portsmouth and it closed down. Why not help the people who
From
own the
Portsmouth,
cinema space in Portsmouth and develop it?
the Douglas
Five
family that have
years,
been so good to you and Labour.
5 years, we fighting to develop the Arawak House of Culture, if not more. How long now we fighting to redevelop Arawak House of
5 years,
Culture? Up to
over
now,
10 years, Arawak has been almost thing. And even before that, because I've been working at Arawak since 2000. So like 20 something years. And the Arawak had been in an advanced state of disrepair. It's not just Marriott and mash up Arawak. I had in fact said publicly I would not do a play at Arawak until Arawak is better. And that's over 10 years. So if you want to develop
so
a space, fix those space we have. You want to go and build a golf course.
correct. Help,
Wait, but
help. Dominica already owns Arawak. Fix there, finish it. Private
and
interest owns the one in Portsmouth. Help them to get the financing to fix it. Develop those areas. Don't
we
touch
have one in
our
Roseau.
gardens.
We have one in Roseau owned by some young people, a nice space. Because people do not go to theater as much, but we have 100 and something seats in Roseau. That's good. When tourists come, they can go there. If you have to take somebody out, you can go there. That's a good size. Help them, give them incentive. We're going to talk about building a theater in the gardens.
Boy, and I know these guys spent a lot of money on that space. Now
Help them out, man.
it can be described as kind of a makeshift in certain respects because even where the concession stand is, there was never a plan for that when they were setting there up. But they worked with the space that they had and they developed the area. And by and large it's a nice space. Have you ever been inside there,
I have been there,
Alex?
boy. Yes.
So you
Very
went to the
comfortable
movies.
seats. The acoustics is lovely. The ambience is peaceful. It is a nice space, man. Don't tell me you're going to build a theater in the gardens. And nobody didn't call and tell him he's nonsense. He's speaking, Carlos.
Boy, I looking at the comments and I wonder, boy, yeah, I pray for our people.
No, we had to challenge that. I will be challenging it, I can tell you that. So, and if I knew that before, I would have dealt with that topic on my program earlier today. I'm telling you that because Carlos, boy, no, 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 no. Somebody has to stand up. Somebody has to stand up. And if that somebody is me, I'll do it. If it is you, if it is Ricardo, we have to do it. Cannot be. This confirms. I mean, I came on this program with a level head thinking, but that what you're saying there confirms what the rumor is. Technically,
Yeah,
generally. What is this for me in a way? And the sad thing is that Carlos and Ricardo, the government has the capacity with no opposition to do it.
no
And
opposition.
and they are not the only one to be blamed. The people who could have been there, who gave it up, are implicit and complicit. They are all guilty. They're guilty as charged. And how can you give one man so much power and now you're going, man, Carlos, boy, I gotta go, boy, I live in that program, boy. Doesn't make sense. And drink something and free up my head. It doesn't make sense. I'm angry, man. I'm mad, Carlos. That's how I am when I get upset. I'm not well. Cannot be. Enough is enough, man. Eh, eh. It's ridiculous, man.
We the time now it's 4 minutes before the hour of 4 o'clock, Alex. We've been here for a little while, a few minutes. I know we'd love to stay longer, but bro, I can see you visibly upset about this discussion. I wish you were able to listen to the program yourself live last night. You would have simmered down by now.
That's why, yeah.
I I was I was baffled when I heard it. I couldn't believe it when he said it. So you want to put miniature golf
With glowing balls.
inside the garden, glowing balls, and and and
Joke. That's a joke.
and bowling alley and
Because
movie theater.
because
So
Carlos
no,
culture, that is me. That's my area. I do my politics now as a profession. But culture is my blood. You know that. Everybody who knows me know that. That is touching too close to home, man. Libla would be turning in his grave if he heard the program last night. The EO Libla that I interviewed, he must be frowning. that someone could be so short-sighted to try to trample on our country's cultural heritage like this man is threatening to do. That is simply ridiculous. And nothing short of a total recall of that program yesterday would suffice for me to be cool. And I think the Prime Minister should probably even make a personal phone call. I would do that if I was him, because I'm a citizen and I'm upset. I understand that I'm special, but I would welcome a call from him to see whether he really is. No. And I'm going to try to call his office. That's what
Well,
citizens
there's
should
a
do.
press conference tomorrow
Okay,
morning,
then so
where
they
he'll
can
talk
we
about
can get.
he'll be talking about the gardens and other pressing issues. Um,
Okay.
so I'm hoping that all media persons would be as forceful as how they were when they were engaging Team Unity in our pre-election press conferences. I hope they will be as forceful with the Prime Minister as they were with us, and demand answers on behalf of the Dominican people, because this idea of turning the Botanic Gardens into a concrete space as opposed to what it is right now, a green space.
Right. Not just concrete, an an artificial space, a glamorous foreign space superimposed on the country's heritage in the in the epicenter of our culture. They must know the history of Botanic Gardens and the number of cultural galas that were held there, the sweat of Dominicans, the dance, the attitude, the expressions, the birds that have sang there. You crazy? So probably the media may not get it as I get it, but I get it, my brother. You know many cultural galas I went to see there as a little boy?
I went to many of them.
How many games was played there? Combined Island games, Windward Island games. The number of times people like Jose,
Sports,
Stanley Strad and them
sports
start,
day,
yeah,
sports
had
day.
University of the Gardens. We used to come from Calibishi and come there for 4th of November. We. Now you're gonna put bowling balls. Was it? Bowling alley with blowing
Bowling
balls.
alley.
This way, I don't know. I don't know. I'm sorry, but
Dominican, it's been a good Sunday. Oh, Alex is on fire today,
I have to
and
apologize. I have to apologize. I don't normally show my cards like that, but Carlos, to me, I couldn't do that in any other way now. Sorry, my brother. And prepare me for
but
them things next time. Prepare me in the future for those things, my brother. I was not prepared for that.
we'll be back again next Sunday to engage you with another Team Unity roundtable discussion. I want to thank our brother Ricardo for joining us. Ricardo has a new entity which he has started some time ago. It's called Cardo's Media. He's having a lot of interviews and doing his own news coverage, and etc. etc. So if you're looking for some news, you can always check him out. And of course, don't forget all other media persons such as the MO News, the
Lofty,
DNOs.
lofty, touch lofty,
Oh,
tough lofty.
Legal, yes,
That,
Lofty has been huge for the past couple of days. I have to big him up for his engagement. I see what he's doing in the Wesley area. Lofty, we need to talk. Lofty,
yeah,
I need to talk to Lofty.
and I love
And the other persons.
Dominica breaking news,
Yeah,
nice too. You know,
yes,
Carly John Baptist and his Nature Island news, I think.
yes.
DNO, they all do their do, but some really stand out. I saw MO on her breakfast fed coverage was massive as well. So
Yes.
yeah, man, guys, we can do it, but we have to support each other to do it. We have to fix and save our country. Look, now they're talking about bowling alley with glowing balls in the Botanic Gardens. I don't mind if the balls will not glow in. Carlos, boy, take me to that program, my boy. Yeah, that's a problem. Boy, no boy, Carlos, boy, that's a comedy now. What?
Dominicans, before Alex has to let go a few words, we'll cut it here. Glowing balls. Have a good
Calypso.
afternoon, everybody.
I can write a song.
That's your calypso. That's your calypso for next year. Glowing
Yeah,
balls.
yeah, man.
Have a good
Glow,
afternoon, everybody.
glowing balls that swings.